It was a Saturday morning like any other. Quiet street kids on bikes, sprinklers ticking in sync, the smell of fresh grass and gasoline. You know the type. The kind of morning you forget until something makes it unforgettable. Daniel Hayes stepped outside his house in Oak Ridge, Georgia, trash bag in one hand, keys in the other. Mid-40s tall, composed. The kind of neighbor who waves but never overshares, who fixes the clogged storm drain without a fuss. Nobody really knew Daniel, and that was the first mistake. At the edge of his driveway stood Margaret Langley, the HOA president, and two dudes who looked like they raided a Halloween aisle for their uniforms. Patches reading community enforcement slapped on sagging vests. One guy's boots looked like they'd been through a flea market war. The other was sweating bullets through his fake Ray-Bans. And Margaret, she held a folder tight to her ribs like it was the Constitution itself. "Mr. Hayes," she said, voice dipped in ice, "we need to talk." Daniel didn't move, just studied them, calm still like he was reading the whole scene before deciding which chapter to turn to. Then the bigger guy, Eddie, stepped up and barked, "You're being detained. You violated HOA regulations." Detained. That word landed like a thud. A few neighbors peeked through curtains. One guy across the street set down his coffee. The whole block could feel it's something wrong dressing up as authority. Daniel's voice didn't rise. "On what authority?" Margaret flipped open her folder. "Multiple violations," she said. "Driveway modifications, loud gatherings, non-standard porch light." She read it like scripture, as if color temperature was grounds for handcuffs. Daniel motioned toward the paper. "May I?" The shaky one, Sean handed it over. Daniel didn't even touch it, just leaned in and said, "That seal, it's a transfer sticker. Your real letterhead is center aligned, not left. And Margaret, this isn't how you sign your name. You loop the G." Silence. Awkward shifting. The whole street watched Margaret blink too many times. Then Eddie puffed his chest, rolled his shoulders like a linebacker, and snarled, "Turn around, hands behind your back." Daniel didn't flinch. He planted his feet, his own driveway under him, and replied, "Not today." The words cut through the tension like a blade, the kind of sentence that makes everyone watching hold their breath. Margaret tried to double down. "You always thought you were above the rules. Today you'll learn who holds authority here." Daniel nodded ever so slightly. "Then let's talk uniforms." He pointed with his eyes, never his hands. "That vest is too big. The plate pockets are empty. The radio's not connected to anything. And those boots haven't seen a single shift. You're dressed for theater, not enforcement." Eddie's jaw locked. "You think you're special." Daniel's voice stayed level. "If people whisper my name, it's probably because they don't like shouting." Then it escalated. Eddie reached into his vest, and when his hand came out, it was holding a black pistol-looking thing. The cul-de-sac froze. Mothers pulled kids close. Phones went up. Sean muttered something I'll never forget. "You said you had it handled." Daniel stared at the gun head tilted. "That's not even a real weapon," he said. "Plastic frame. No, wait, it's an airsoft." The realization hit fast. People gasped. Caleb, the teen next door, was already live streaming. The red dot glowed on his screen, comments pouring in. Eddie's hand trembled. Margaret barked, "Do it." And just like that, he pointed the fake gun at Daniel. Daniel stepped forward, calm as stone. "Drop it before you ruin your life." Sirens cut through the tension, real ones. Red and blue lights flashed across hedges and driveways. Two cops stepped out, Officer Ramirez and Officer Vega. Ramirez barked, "Step back, sir," hands visible. Daniel didn't panic. He raised his hands slow and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "I'm Special Agent Daniel Hayes, FBI. Badge is in my left pocket." You could feel the neighborhood tilt. Vega checked the ID, flash of gold, then her voice, "Credentials valid." And then Ramirez. He said something that changed everything. "He's the one who took down the Atlanta syndicate." Boom! Everyone froze. Margaret, Eddie, Sean. That wasn't just a neighbor. That was asterisk, him asterisk. Daniel stood steady still, hands up. Impersonating an officer is a federal crime, he said to Eddie. Minimum 3 years. And you're holding a replica. Eddie's knees buckled. Sean looked like he wanted to dissolve into his shoes. And Margaret, she tried to pivot again. He's abusing power, she shouted. He doesn't belong here. That line cracked the whole thing open. The mother down the block stepped forward and said, "That's enough, Margaret." And then porch by porch, window by window, we all said it too. Enough, stop. We saw everything. Green ordered Eddie to drop the toy. He set it down, slow shame pouring out of him like sweat. Click, real cuffs this time. Sean folded to the curb, broken. Then Ramirez turned to Margaret. You're under arrest. Obstruction. Conspiracy. The folder she clutched all morning hit the ground like dead weight. And then something wild happened. People clapped not because they were glad, but because the truth finally stood up. Later that evening, folks drifted toward Daniel's driveway, some with handshakes, some with apologies, some just needing to say asterisk, thank you asterisk. Daniel didn't gloat, just said real power comes from service, not fear. The little girl from earlier tiptoed up and asked, will you always protect us? Daniel knelt to her level. That's my duty, he said, but courage starts with you, and that's what stuck with me. This wasn't just about HOA bylaws or porch lights. It was about control dressed up as order, and one man standing tall enough for all of us to remember the difference. So now I'm asking you, have you ever seen someone try to wear authority like a costume? Drop your comment below. Who gets to decide who belongs in a neighborhood? And if you believe respect is asterisk earned, asterisk not forced, hit that like button, son, subscribe and share the story. Because next time it might be your street, and we all deserve to know where real power lives. It was a Saturday morning like any other. Quiet street kids on bikes, sprinklers ticking in sync, the smell of fresh grass and gasoline. You know the type. The kind of morning you forget until something makes it unforgettable. Daniel Hayes stepped outside his house in Oak Ridge, Georgia, trash bag in one hand, keys in the other. Mid-40s tall, composed. The kind of neighbor who waves but never overshares, who fixes the clogged storm drain without a fuss. Nobody really knew Daniel, and that was the first mistake. At the edge of his driveway stood Margaret Langley, the HOA president, and two dudes who looked like they raided a Halloween aisle for their uniforms. Patches reading community enforcement slapped on sagging vests. One guy's boots looked like they'd been through a flea market war. The other was sweating bullets through his fake Ray-Bans. And Margaret, she held